the who, the what, and the whys of WordPress. Today we start a new series in a very simple and very powerful blogging software and content management system, or CMS, called WordPress. And first, let's start out with who is using WordPress. Well, it's an easy answer. Bloggers use WordPress more than anyone. It's the #1 rated blogging platform out there. And small businesses use WordPress, and you can have a great site in a short amount of time that's easy to update without having someone to code it for you. So it's definitely a huge cost savings right there. Affiliate marketers find WordPress very useful because of its SEO abilities. It's got some very easy plugins, of course, for advertising, which is what the appeal is, but mainly the SEO abilities. It's very search engine friendly. So what is WordPress? Well, WordPress has been around for a few years now, and it's I think in 2003 came about, and its primary use, of course, is for blogging. In fact, I'll go on record to tell you that in my opinion, it is by far the best blogging software that exists, commercial, open source, or otherwise. Since the latest release to 3.0, it even rivals in a lot of ways a full-featured content management system like Joomla or Drupal. It just depends on what your end goal is with your website. So WordPress is built with PHP, and it uses a MySQL database on its back end. And it's installed on a web server, and it's very simple to install and very simple to use. We'll be covering off later how to install it. There's also platforms like WordPress.com, not to be confused with .org, where you can they host the WordPress site for you. It works a lot like Blogger that Google has. So, and you can have a WordPress site there. If you want to take a look at some of them in action, the best thing to do is go to wordpress.org/showcase, and there you can see some of the up-and-coming popular blogs and top-rated WordPress blogs that are out there today. All right, so let's talk about what WordPress isn't. Now, when you think of how your website will grow in the next 5 years, it's important to figure out what framework to use. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not speaking of how many users and the amount of traffic that's going to be coming into your website, because all these platforms that are out there can pretty much handle that depending on your server. So what I'm talking about is if you are dishing out content and all you want to do is blog, it's foolish not to use WordPress. I mean, simple as that. If you want a web presence with a few pages on the internet, I would say WordPress is likely your best bet. But if you intend to have a website /blog /e-commerce /bulletin board /classified ads /wiki you name it, all onto one site, well, WordPress can do it, but there's probably some better options out there for you, such as Joomla or Drupal, that will likely suit you better for that sort of thing. Well, and I'd venture to say a good portion of the websites that are out there, maybe something like 80%, could be built in WordPress rather than a larger CMS. So, I mean, it's something you just want to look at. Where are you going to be in 2 years, 3 years, you know? Don't forget that WordPress grows as well. So the WordPress that was around in a year and a half ago is just, not even close to where it is today. It gets better and better every day. So why use WordPress? Well, #1, WordPress is open source. It's licensed under the GPL. It's free to use in terms of cost. It's built by a worldwide community of developers who constantly ensure that it's secure, fast, and that it just looks beautiful. Commercial software, you could wait for updates or security fixes, but WordPress makes all that super simple. I mean, literally click of a button, updated. It's just amazing. So WordPress is very, did I say very? Yes, very easy to use. I'd be remiss if I didn't speak to how simple WordPress is to use. It has an easy to use dashboard that you can control the look and the feel, and as well as the content of your site. So you don't have to have a lot of coding experience in order to produce something. And I mean, really, anyone can use it. It's very, very, very user friendly. It's extensible, and what do I mean by that? Well, it's because there's a gajillion features to WordPress, and more every day. As I say, it's just constantly growing in this way, and it's you've got a large community making it better and better and better. So a lot of that has to do with its extensible plugins. Just sort of think of it like Firefox, or you can do all these plugins on Firefox. Well, WordPress is the same way. You can have these Facebook people you like, your friends on Facebook are right over here. This is how many people liked you. Here's your Twitter feed. Here's your advertising banners, and to more back-end things like your Google Analytics tied into your site, and it just goes on and on and on. I could spend a month just explaining what all is available. Number 4, it's search engine optimized. Well, WordPress right out of the proverbial box, it's fast and it's optimized for search engines. And on top of that, there are a number of plugins that help that along even further. So the only thing I know that is better than a WordPress site to search engines is if you hand code every single page, ensuring everything is perfectly tagged, cleanly coded, linked properly, and the content well written, and it goes on and on. You can definitely get an advantage doing that over a WordPress blog, but it's costing you a lot of time and money to achieve that, and you're likely getting maybe a 2% better opportunity than just having a word guy, putting a WordPress blog up in 5 minutes, having an article up there. It's automatically doing all this for you. So this just doesn't get any better. Standards compliancy, and well, who cares about that? Well, you'll care if you compare Safari and Firefox and Opera and IE, and you want them all to look relatively the same, then you're going to care about standards compliancy. If you're only applying to IE users, well then I guess you don't have much to worry about. Actually, you do, because IE, since IE 8, I think they've gone down the standards compliancy path. So if you want it to look right, you're going to have to be standards compliant. So there's a billion themes and counting. Number 6. To be honest, I have no idea the actual number of themes that are out there. I just know it's huge. There's tons of free themes to choose from, and then there are tons of paid themes to choose from. And if it's being completely original is your thing, well, then there's themes they're easily editable. It's easy to customize. The community is vast and that supports it, so it's like finding a developer or a designer with that skill set's not very hard to do. It's it's a very well-known product. Okay, that's why you should. So here's why you shouldn't use WordPress. Well, perhaps you're just shy and hate people looking at your website. That'd be a good reason. Or maybe you enjoy fixing really hard technical issues and don't really want to be bothered by writing content for your users. And that'd be a good reason. Perhaps finding that patching up security holes in your software is a really good way to test the skills of unruly hackers. That'd be a good reason. There just doesn't seem to be a WordPress theme out there that has flashing words and dancing GIFs and MIDI playing in the background like that site you built in the 1990s. Seriously, the reason to use WordPress for a site far outweighs the reasons not to use it. Alright, so get ready. Over the next few weeks we'll be going through the very basics of the more complex ins and outs of WordPress. Alright, so please check out these and other great tutorials as well as other articles at www.topsweb.com. Don't forget to give us a big thumbs up. And you can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/topsweb or on Twitter at twitter.com/topsweb. So long, everyone.